Hey, episode 82 of the Nashville Artist Podcast is now out, featuring Rado. Ryan is a musician, visual artist, painter, and the curator of the legendary Rock Ball Gallery. He opens up about the struggles he faced in his youth and how his art became a lifeline, a way to make sense of it all. There's this fascinating tension between his subconscious and conscious mind that fuels his creative process in profound ways. When Ryan paints, it's like an emotional exorcism. The canvas becomes a canvas for his innermost feelings, a way for him to understand himself better, and his musical tastes are just as eclectic and captivating. From Bee Gees and Michael Jackson to the Smashing Pumpkins and Sleep Token, with a healthy dose of hip-hop like Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, NWA, and Snoop Dogg. Enjoy the podcast episode. Been up to today?
Oh, today. What did I do? I woke up, so that really rules. What else did I do? Oh, I got insurance and stuff on the new car and stuff like that. Got a new car.
Yeah, dude, congratulations.
Thanks,
on the Subaru.
Thanks, man. Yeah. It feels good not to have to.
What's that? Seem really reliable.
Yeah, man, yeah. It's only got 106,000 miles on it, and I was pumped because this is the first time that I bought a car by myself. I'm 46 years old, dude. And it's the first time I've done it myself. And I was driving away and I was like, God, I feel proud of myself for this little feat. You know what I mean? It was like, I didn't have anybody to I mean, that's not true. I talked to my friend Brady a lot and stuff and my girlfriend Kelly but it's like, I did the whole process myself with this cop in Lebanon. He's a detective, and I bought his car. And, I got that.
Wow.
I don't mind, cops or whatever. My first word is like, fuck a cop. But you know what I'm saying? That's like the young punk rocker in me.
There could be some that are okay.
Exactly, yeah. He seemed to be pretty legit. The car's pretty good condition. So I'm pretty
Was it on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You ever done that?
I bought gear off Facebook. I bought this table off Facebook Marketplace. Solid. And I've sold some stuff, but I haven't bought anything like really big.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought this too on Facebook Marketplace. When I first moved here, I was buying furniture off of it.
That's smart, man. I think that's smart. How long have you lived here? I didn't catch that.
Lived here since July of 2019.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So July will be 5 years.
Nice. What do you think?
I love it here.
Cool, man.
I would love to buy this house at some point,
dude.
And have. But then again, I also realized, thank God I'm renting because this is Tornado Alley.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This is
where it got ripped?
A mile away from here.
Yeah.
Just like Holly Street was just flattened and destroyed.
That's crazy, dude.
And so when that happened, I was like, maybe it's good that I just rent.
Yeah.
If I live in this area, because some people lost it all, and I'm just damn,
that's scary, man. Good Lord.
Yeah.
What a year and then a 2 years. You know what I mean? After that, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I felt really bad for all the people having to clean up their lives from that, and then COVID breaks out, and then it's like people are like jobs and all that. Dude. But yeah, I really like this neighborhood because I can walk everywhere, and I'm kind of in the woods here.
Yeah,
like I'll get deer and coyotes come through.
Coyotes, no shit. That's cool. Yeah. That's super cool.
I mean, we live next to Shelby Park and Cornelia Air Park, which a lot of people don't know. Shelby Park and combined with Cornelia Air Park is larger than Central Park in
New York. No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I never even heard that.
By like 200 or 300 acres.
And that's huge, man.
Because Central Park is, I think, 973 acres.
Wow.
And Shelby and Cornelia is like 1,300 or 1,200.
Damn.
Yeah,
man, I had no clue of that.
It's amazing. So I'm like, we're in a city right next to like the woods and
stuff.
Right.
Oh, that's super neat.
Awesome.
Beautiful over there.
We'll get started here.
Yeah, don't.
Hey everyone, welcome to Nashville Artists. I'm Jordan, and today Ryan Rado is
Rado,
here.
yeah. Hey,
Awesome.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. So where are you from?
Man, I grew up in Michigan, outside of Detroit, and I spent time in a town called Howell, Michigan, and also near Farmington, Livonia. And yeah, I lived between those two places for 22 years, and then I moved down here in '99. So I've been here quite a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a half, no full blood siblings, but whatever. I have a half brother named Eric. He's 30, about to be 30, 35 maybe, something like that. And then a sister in Texas. Her name's Autumn. She's like 39, 38 maybe, something like that.
Awesome.
Something like that, yeah.
Are they into art and music? Or
My brother not so much. He's a head football coach of a high school out there, and he's good at it. My sister, I think she was really into horses, and she's really good with horses and kind of a hippie girl, cowboy hippie girl. But I'm not necessarily sure if she's into like visual art or anything like that. But yeah, she and I don't talk very much. But
I understand.
yeah.
What about your parents? Were they into art and music?
Yeah, my dad, the Rado side of the family is pretty artistic. My mom likes music, but I don't think she's too much into the other stuff. But my dad was a pretty creative guy.
Nice.
He's pretty creative.
So what were you into as a little kid?
Little kid, I was into being sad. I was into rap music. I loved Michael Jackson back in the day when I was like 7 years old. When I saw him do the moonwalk for the first time, I was like, well, that's what I want to do. He had that glove on. It's like, God, he's badass. And what else was I into? I liked riding three-wheelers. I remember I used to draw my Air Jordans. I used to set them up and draw them, and
Wow.
I remember from what I thought they were pretty good, but I didn't have any buddy that really would be like, hey, that was cool, So I wish I could see them now. That'd be super cool. But
what rap music were you into?
yes, dude. Quick story. My grandma, Stella, my mom's mom, bought me my first rap tape that had explicit lyrics on the label on it, and it was Eazy-E, Easy Does It.
Oh my God.
And I had to I went to Harmony House in Farmington Hills, that's now like a deli, and I picked the tape out. She didn't know it. She didn't see anything. She was just like, whatever, okay. Took it up to the counter, and the guy's like, are you sure you'd like him to buy that? I'm like, dude, fuck you. Just put it in the bag. Look what tape I'm buying, man. Why would you even sell me out like that, But she's like, yeah. So he put it in the bag, and that was it. And I listened to that thing wore that thing out, man. Ugh. And then that led to NWA, and then Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and then I got into like Eric B and Rakim, and just I loved all that stuff. I still do, man. I've been listening to Danny Brown quite a bit lately. Do you like him? You ever listen to him at all?
I'm not super. I've heard of him, but I'm not super familiar.
He's been around for a minute. He's from Detroit. He's about to do a tour. He'll be here in April. I can definitely hear what I pick up on as Detroit and just his presence. You know what I mean? When I listen to his music, it's cool.
Nice. How old is he? Of that same generation?
He's old. He's like 41, so it's like he's been around for a while, but he's a little newer. I think he started maybe the early 2000s putting records out. I could be wrong, but
wow,
yeah, he's kick-ass.
What
it's cool.
You say being sad. What do you mean being sad?
Sad. I had a rough go when I was a kid, man. A lot of violence in my house. I got picked on a lot. I have Tourette syndrome and OCD and stuff like that. So you can imagine in the early 90s, people didn't really know what was going on with it. So just a lot of misunderstanding and tried to figure out what was going on with me. My parents were trying to figure it out. My mom saw a special about it on Oprah. So appreciated Oprah. And she took me to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with that and ADHD. And so it's crazy to think about a diagnosis when you're that young, like putting that, you're putting on a way of being through language and description, which we all do, onto a child. And having a 3.5-year-old, it's a really daunting thing to make the decision to diagnose him with anything, because it influences how you live your life. And I know that happens all the time, just being a being, you know, but it's really interesting when something like that comes up. And but aside from that, I had just had violent stepdad, and my mom was married like 5 times, and so it was like once we'd get a path going, we'd be rocking around with the male figure in the house. The violence would happen. I'd watch, you know, her be physically abused, and then that would come onto me, and so it was like, so that guy would be out, and then a new guy would quickly be in. And I think my mom just wanted, it causes tics for me. That's like a body trauma thing. But I think my mom just wanted to have that nuclear family in place. She had 2 kids. And having a child myself, being a single dad, it's fucking hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, so I think she just wanted the security of that, no matter what cost it came at, you know?
Right.
So that it was a lot of isolation, living in the country, and I didn't see my dad that much. Yeah, that's what I said.
I understand. Did your drawings reflect the sadness?
You know, I don't think so. I think I was trying to draw things that kind of made me feel cool. You know, yeah. But I wrote a lot, and I wrote a lot of sad stuff, and I burned it all when I was in 2012. I burned my whole journal from when I was a kid, the whole thing. I wish I would have done that. I have some of it saved on like I transposed it into the computer and some of it, but it was symbolic to burn that whole folder.
Yeah.
You know? And
I'll leave it in the past.
Yeah. And I think I had to at that point, but now I'm like, I would love to have, like you had your book, man. That's like such a beautiful thing to carry into the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
Nice. So, what first got you into painting, music, and art?
Oh, yeah. Well, Bee Gees, I think, back in the day, you know. This dude's like, that's a good one. Let me write that down. My dad, I remember, used to
dancing.
Yeah, dude. We used to dance. He used to hold me. I have that vision in my head of him holding me when I was, I don't know, probably 5 or 4 at my grandpa's house, just dancing to the Bee Gees, you know. And then, like I said, Michael Jackson, and then rap music. But as far as like, and then I was always hanging around bands and wanted to be in that whole thing, like hardcore and punk, and I didn't realize that I could do that myself. I always felt like I was like on the periphery of being an artist, because growing up I had confidence in how peculiar and elevated my personality was, and like how I could perform for people to get them to like me. But but when I started playing in bands and singing and doing all that, it's the most I felt expressed creatively, is being in bands and singing and performing. So I did that through my 30s and some into my 40s. And then at 37, I started painting. And it's crazy to hear myself say that out loud, because it's like, what a shift, man. What a shift. Thank God. Came out of nowhere. It was so beautiful. And then I couldn't do anything but paint. I was like, I'd never had anything like that other than when I like started listening to Smashing Pumpkins. You know, like Siamese Dream. It's all I could listen to. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Dang, yeah, painting. It's a much slower art form.
Yeah, and it's solo.
Yeah,
you know?
It's solo.
Yeah, there's a lot of sadness in that too, man. And you know, some artists might be like, "Oh, it's a joy. It's just a joy to paint." Yeah, the joy of painting. Appreciate it, Bob. But that's in there.
It can be tedious.
Yeah, tedious and just meditative. All the things that artists should say, but it's also horribly beautiful and depressive and refining and self-reflective and self-referential. It's like, it's the whole experience, man. It really is. Like I like to ask artists if they cry or weep when they paint, and it's like I've had a couple artists be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I'm in here." Like I cry a lot when I'm painting, man, because it's really, I'm with it.
Cathartic.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's a good thing to reach. You know, it's really interesting when it shows. Ugh, man, just thinking about it, it gets those histamines going in it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time it caused you to cry?
That was last Friday, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I had my son, and it was that Thursday was the year passing my father. You know, and we didn't. It's a long story. We didn't have the best go, but we wrapped it up in like 10 minutes before 10 minutes, an hour before he passed. And we hadn't really talked or even seen each other in 6 years before that. And it's beautiful how all that went down, and for closure. And so I had my son more last week than I expected to, which was great and really difficult. And so that night, Thursday night, was the worst night of my parenting career so far. He's 3.5. I just lost my patience a lot, and it was really tough, you know. So I came down after I put him to bed and started painting. I was listening to Sleep Token. Do you like Sleep?
Yeah. I think,
man, I'm pretty into
I
that.
just discovered them
Really?
like a year ago.
I think they're cool. You know?
I think they are cool.
It's new. It's kind of fresh, you know. And
it is new.
You know,
the pop elements with the metal elements.
Yeah, dude.
Like there's like a great like they're on opposite spectrums, but they work so well together.
Yes, dude. Yes. No, that's a good way to put it. And I can see how people make fun of them. Like, I fucking get that. But I'm just like,
they're so committed.
Yeah.
And
yes, dude.
And you can tell how influenced they are by Tool.
Yes, dude. Yep. Yeah.
Even the drummer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
been studying his beats and stuff.
Oh, the Sleep Token?
Yeah. He's
cool.
Interesting. Really
crazy.
Interesting.
It's interesting to hear him drum, man.
Yeah, it is.
It really is cool. Like, because there's sometimes he really turns it on, and other times it's like he's just good. It's just really creative, you know. And the lyrics that guy writes are so like borderline cringy sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck because I'm with it.
Right.
I'm with him. I feel you, dude.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm feeling like I'm some cold cuts dangling in a meat freezer. That's a great image, bro. You know what I mean? So
is that one of his lines?
Yeah, he talks. It's in a song called "Take Me Back to Eden," which was their last record. But yeah, but I don't know what I was talking about. But the crying thing.
You're listening to Sleep Token?
Yeah, man. And the song called Euclid, and I think that's how you say it. And I was just thinking, I just had more compassion for my dad, you know, and my mom, and realizing how my little dude Harrison, he's being exactly what he needs to be, you know.
Yeah.
And I ended up painting a painting of some flowers I'm doing, and when I stepped back, I was like, damn, that's the way earlier he hugged my waist on the ground. He looked up at me, and his little eyes were kind of filled with tears. He's having a hard time. And I didn't realize I painted that meek, sad, humble version of him, which is actually me.
Wow.
So I came down the next morning, and this might be more than you want to hear, but like I came down the next morning, and I was like, I bet he's going to know that that's him. So I put it up, and I said, Harrison, who is that in that painting? He goes, that's me. And I was like, got it. Like, I knew it when I finished it. You know what I mean? That's like the shit that is just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's wonderful.
Yeah, when you paint, things come out of you that you consciously aren't aware of.
Yes, dude.
And then you become consciously aware of them.
Boom.
Because it came out of your subconscious.
Yeah.
And your just body, you just
did it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's 46 and 2. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like I created God, I'm always on the verge of tears, dude.
Yeah, no worries.
Like I created another awareness of a being in that painting that not only I saw, but my 3-year-old son saw in its abstraction. That's God to me.
Yeah.
That is God to me.
It's very divine.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. So when you were younger, how did you start out? Did you start out mostly doing music or like in school and stuff? Or,
I didn't do it, man. I played basketball. Yeah,
I
was okay at sports, but I loved Michael Jordan. I loved the Pistons. I loved when the bad boys were around, man, and University of Michigan basketball. I liked cars because of the Detroit Auto Show. And I played football because I just wanted that letter jacket, man. I wanted that fucking thing, man. Because I saw all these cool jocks who got all the girls have this letter jacket, dude. And then when I got it, I'm like, I don't even play. I'm third string, but I got this fucking jacket. You know what I mean? It says my name on the back. Just didn't get any girls. You know what I mean? So, but it was like, but I don't know. I hated getting hit. I hated playing football, man. I hated it. I hated going to practice. And also, I didn't, hearing someone give me directions or even looking at directions or even them teaching me how to do something is very tough for me to learn. Like, it might be, as they say, like the neurodivergent part of me, but it's like, I didn't get the plays. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And everybody get pissed at me. I'm like, fuck this. But I stuck around and I finished, but I quit soon after I heard the Smashing Pumpkins for the first time. I'm like, fuck all this. This is where I want to go. I don't need. And then I started hanging out with all the rats, is what the jocks called the guys that were like long hair, smoked, and like were just cool. You know what I mean? But I called them rats, and I was like, yeah. I thought, now thinking back, I'm like, cool. That's funny, and now it's cool. I think of Master Splinter, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. And the sewers, Master Splinter, dude.
I had a dream last night about Theo Vaughn. I saw Theo Vaughn in a shower sewer, and he had a leg, a prosthetic leg, dude. Talk about dreams all day, man.
Wow,
you know?
Dude.
It's crazy. Anyway, Master Splinter.
Dude, wow, yeah, I can talk about dreams a lot, too.
I love it, dude.
I love dreams. What do you call it? I forgot what I was going to say. You're talking about, oh, yeah, I remember I played football, too, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Really?
And I was so intimidated to ask the coach what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone around me was obsessed with football and watched it and everything. I didn't really watch it, or I just wanted to try it.
Right.
But I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And everyone just seemed so confident in knowing what their play was.
Yes, dude.
I was like, am I supposed to block here? Am I supposed to tackle someone? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, dude.
And the coaches were so intense about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was so embarrassed to ask.
Yes, dude. Yeah, like they're just gonna holler at you in front of everybody.
Exactly.
You feel like a dumb piece of shit, you know?
Right, exactly.
And I already felt that way, you know what I mean? So it's like, chill out, dude.
I quit after the first game because I was like, forget this. And like my dad was like, I wish you wouldn't have given up. And same with the coach, but I was like, but it's not for me, bro.
Totally.
And but I remember like that game, my friend Will and I were going to the locker rooms to put on our football gear. And we didn't realize that we had accidentally went into the girls' locker room.
Sweet.
And no one was in there, so we didn't, it didn't seem
yes.
And we go into the stalls and we're dressing, and then all of a sudden, tons of women come into the locker room, and Will and I are like hiding in our locker or in the stalls or whatever. And we're like, dude, what do we do? And he's like, just wait. We gotta wait.
Yeah, right.
And eventually they left, and then we exited. And we're like, oh my god, this happened. And they're like, let's go back to the game. And then I remember getting put in at the very end of the game, and then like I played like one or two plays, and the game was over. And it's like,
yeah, right. Yes, dude. Yeah. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, exactly. This is so crazy.
I think it takes a lot of balls to quit something like that, especially something so aggressive and like quote masculine and like get in, hit them hard, have your shit together, and just like, because I kept on because I was afraid of quitting, you know. So I was like, I don't want to be looked at as like what they say pussy, or you know what I'm saying.
Sure,
what you got back then, but
Right.
Kudos to you for being like, I'm fucking out of here, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, man.
I just remember like the coaches would have us do these exercises where one dude stands over here, another dude stands over here, and now y'all collide with each other as fast as you can.
What the fuck?
Like, dude, why I'm like, I understand physics. If I run as fast as he is, it's going to be twice as much. So I just decided to stand there, and the guy would just tackle me.
Oh my god, dude.
And I was like, forget this. But I remember going to the trainer, and the trainer was super intense because he was the trainer for the Falcons at one point.
Oh wow!
And so, but since I played
demoted.
Since I played football, he liked me, but he gave everyone else a hard time because he thought their sport wasn't as valid or whatever. But I just remember him like putting the like little sensors on my back and being like, "All right, you'll be all right. Just rest it out.
Oh, right.
It's good that you're playing football." Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then, like, I would see track guys come in, and he would be like, or I guess it wasn't track, or whatever else, other sport, and he would give them a hard time with their injury
because they weren't playing football.
Yeah. He's like, "Why you got injured?" Like,
running.
It was ridiculous. But
oh man, oh boy.
But anyways,
so what? High school, man.
In high school, and what were your early like music or art influences then? What were you?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh yeah,
number one, man. Number one. I heard Siamese Dream. This guy named Ryan Starkey that I worked at this old folks home with in the cafeteria. He was a trip, and I went over to his house one day, and we were up in his room, and he's like, he put the tape in, and he's like, listen to this thing all the way through. First side goes, flip it over and listen to that. He goes, come get me afterward. And whether he was like doing me a favor, ultimately to do me a favor, or the self-deprecating part is like, he's sick of hanging out with me. So he's like, stay over here. So I did. And when it started, I was like, what in the fuck? Dude, it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard, you know? So he ended up doing me a huge favor. Got me into rock music, dude, because I was just into gangster rap and hip hop before that, you know? And so, so I went and saw them on the Siamese Dream tour in Lansing, Michigan. I was 15, dude. And we camped out at Sears like a week before to get the tickets, because you could camp outside and stuff like that of the Sears building. And it was real cool. We all got there and all hung out all night. And we were all there to like see the Smashing Pumpkins. So we were all kicking it, having a great time, you know. And went and saw him, and it was the first time, the ride up there, the first time I tried out wearing a t-shirt over my flannel, dog.
Wow.
So I was grunge, dude. It felt really good. I felt cool, you know. And I got in there, and we were up in the first bowl, you know. And across the way, I saw these kids. I'm like, they're jumping down, man. That's far. That's like maybe 15, 16 feet. They were jumping down, jumping, running into the general admission. You know, they called it the Golden Circle at that time. And I told my friends, I'm like, I'll see you guys later. And I jumped, because I had to get closer. I was in between James Iha and Billy Corgan, two people back. And I'm like, this is unbelievable, you know? And so, so I let go, and they had gym mats because they probably knew people were going to do that. So I let go, hit the floor, got up, and I looked over to my right, and they were already coming to get me, you know, but I busted I hopped the little fence and got in there and got lost in the crowd. And I saw the whole show. It was my first concert ever. And I did that shit, and I got to see them that close, man. I'll never forget that. They played with a band called Red Meat, and they don't do anything anymore, and then it went on to Nine Inch Nails and went on to the Crow soundtrack, which was killer. And then, you know, Rage Against the Machine and all that stuff. It was awesome, man.
Yeah,
God, those times.
What a time to be alive, or to be a teenager.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. It was real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like Radiohead. I like the older Radiohead stuff. You know, some of the new stuff I like quite a bit. So I got into them. I'd love to go see them. And then I got into like punk and hardcore and emo, like early stuff, you know. And I started to become an elitist. You know, I started to shit on anything that was mainstream, but I'm back to mainstream now. I love 1975. I love them. Pretty funny.
That's hilarious. So why would you say you're drawn to painting, music, and art? I guess I could just say
That's
art.
great.
But
No, it's great. I love that you made those distinctions. I got a lot in there, man, you know, and I spend a lot of time internally, and I, the most important thing to me here is seeing how aware I can become of what's happening inside of me and outside of me at the same time, being okay with it, and learning about why I do the things I do, you know? And so when I'm involved in the process of making art, things come to the surface that were unconscious, and it's such a beautiful experience to be able to exist with the sadness and the joy and anger and all of the emotional states and all of the states of being that show up in my conscious life. And when they rise to the surface when I'm working, that energy has a place to go. Otherwise, I don't know, man. I it's like a necessary experience for me, and I don't like it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I get sick of bands I listen to, and I get frustrated about my painting, and I, you know, don't I don't think I'm very good, and you know, all the stuff, you know, and I don't know. It's the thing I've stuck with the longest, and it's the hardest thing, but it's cool. It's cool, and it's shitty at the same time. You know,
yeah,
it just is. And like, the voice in my head, the accuser, is like other artists trying to, you know, explain their process. And I know everybody has their own process, but when I hear someone talk about, I just had a check in me that's like, Ryan, do you need to talk about this? Who is speaking right now? You're not speaking. Who is speaking through you right now? You know, and I think it's that insecure part of me that wants to project back onto what I think other artists are saying about their own process. So I just want to be like, if someone's really positive about their experience of painting only, no, we're probably get the fuck out of here. You're not digging far enough, man. You're just not, you know. And especially, and let alone being vulnerable about the hard parts of making art. Like, I think that's so beautiful. And those are the artists that I'm drawn to. You know what I mean? Like, those are the artists I'm drawn to, man.
Yeah, the ones going through it, because you know they're living both sides of the coin.
Yeah, yes.
Can't always be positive.
No, man. God,
there's positive and negative. I mean, but I feel like you can live a much more positive life if you face the negative.
Yeah, and let it exist with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it's going to be there whether you're conscious of it or not. You know,
right?
It's going to affect you from a place you have no clue it's going to affect you.
Right, and you're only human, so
exactly,
like, bad things are going to happen to you. Stuff's going to, you know, you're going to feel certain ways. It's like to not face it or to feel it is not to be subhuman, basically.
Yeah, true, man. Yes, dude. Yeah, that's a good way to put that too, man.
Yeah, gotta learn to go through it and then use that to make you more aware of the good times.
Yeah. I'm into that too. I'm into the good times too. You know what I mean? Like your affirmations up on the stairs. Like when I came up, I'm like, oh, this dude's playing ball here, man. This is legit, man. It's fucking awesome, dude.
It's all like, about the input.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah.
Always put good things into your mind.
Man.
Because
there's so much, we're prone to the negative, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so easy.
Because our instinctual nature as human beings is to constantly look for something that's out to get us, to kill us,
protect
us.
Yeah, dude.
So we're drawn to negative stuff, whether it's good for us or not, and because out of survival instinct. So
big time. And you know, I heard this psychologist say, people don't like Jordan Peterson, but I've learned a lot from that guy, you know. And he said there's more of it than you. And so there's more pushing on you because there's only a little bit of you. So it makes sense why it'd be like, you're watching out. You know what I mean? But so yeah,
the weeds will take the garden. You always have to keep the weeds back, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. So, how would you say you develop your artistic skills now? Like, do you have routines, or how do you?
Oh, that's good, man. I I live with ADHD like a lot of folks do, and again, I hear that accuser in me being like, "That's an excuse, you know. Don't focus too much on that, and you know, blah blah. That's fine." So I'm noticing what I'm saying to myself about myself as I speak, you know. But it's hard for me to get into a routine and a rhythm. And once I get on a rhythm, it's really easy to get knocked off of it. So having a 3-year-old, you know, multiple times a week and just being with him as much as I can, the energy it takes to produce art and have it feel fresh and put myself into it is real tough. But I love living where my studio is, because right now I live in a loft and I have a studio underneath it, you know. So I walk down every day. I walk through that studio, and it's beautiful. And you're not painting. You're walking through. You're not painting, dude. You're not doing anything. You know what I mean? But when I get in that space, it's like if I can just exist in my studio for a minute. Usually I'll look over at something and be like, "Yeah, let's fuck around with this." You know what I mean? So I think it's like just being in the place where you're working for me is helpful, and I love having it with me. I love having it on the premises that I'm living in.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how it goes.
Yeah, and every activity you do that's not it, you're always reminded of it.
Yeah, totally, man.
When you're cooking food, oh, there's my art. When you're going to sleep, my art's the last thing I see.
Yes, dude. Yes. It's just right down there. It's down the stairs, you know. It's cool though. I've been painting with my son quite a bit. It's real cool to paint with him.
That's awesome. How do y'all do that? Do you all sit on the floor and you all just paint on the floor, or like?
No, but we probably should. That'd be a really cute way to, like, and when I mean cute, I mean that literally. Dad and Harrison on the ground painting. It's beautiful. But I put him up on a chair and up on my table, and we just paint. And he picks his colors, and he's like, right here, put it right here. I'm like, so he just grabs it, and watching his movements, he's not thinking.
Yeah.
He's thinking to the capacity that he can, but he's just like moving, and just he'll make a happy face, and he'll want me to help him. And he goes, hair. And he'll just put hair. Doesn't give a fuck how it looks. And it's perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just watching it develop is so what's the word I'm looking for? It's like
refreshing.
Yeah, that's it. Lead refresher, dude. That's fucking sweet. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's legit.
Just like new perspective.
Yes, dude. Yeah. Yes. That I can just be that free, because he's so free. And I want to protect that for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's cute, man. He's
amazing.
He's the best, man. It's crazy.
What is he does he have like favorite toys?
Sometimes it comes and goes, you know. He loves reading books. He loves, awesome. So that's cool. His mom got him started on that pretty good, man. And I don't know, he really loves Pink Panther. Fucking into watching Pink Panther, man.
The cartoon.
Yeah, and he loves Moana. He loves dancing. He's funny as hell. He has so much power, man. He carries so much power with him, and I can't deny that. And he's so cool. Like, people are like, oh, because he's cute as hell, man. He's this cute guy. That's what the first thing people say, you know, it's the easiest thing to say. But when they say that, I'm like, yeah, he's cool too. Like, he's a cool dude. Like, we kick it. It's crazy that I think my son is so damn cool, because I didn't get that. You know what I mean? So I get to experience thinking he's cool.
He gets to live very uninhibited.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. And like, his dad's got his back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool. Cool.
So he's like confident wherever you go.
That's it, dude. Yeah. He's just hanging.
He's like, I got a team with me.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Yes. Me and his angels, you know what I mean?
Right.
Rocking around it. It's cool, man. He's a cool dude.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So, like, of all time, who are your favorite artists? Like, musicians, art,
That's
painters?
Cool. Man, we talked about Maynard from Tool earlier, and now I've learned so much from listening to him and his music. His personality is kick-ass. he doesn't have a problem being an asshole.
Yeah.
And I think that's so beautiful. And he's not unaware of it, you know? I think I love Tool. Well, as far as painters are concerned, I love the Baroque style painting. Like, I really dig, however cliche it might be. I love Peter Paul Rubens, and also I love Renoir. I love Monet and Max Beckmann. Yeah, I love the washiness of Renoir lately. I've really been interested in those paintings. And you think newer folks. I love Matty Healy from 1975, dude.
Huh.
I really appreciate that he puts himself on the line, no matter how and however wacky or wild or offensive he's just being. And I'm fucking into that shit, man.
Nice.
Way into that shit. And Dave Chappelle, man. Like,
Dave Chappelle.
you know, and all the people that are going to get canceled, I'll probably dig their art. You know what I'm saying? Like, however, whatever, I can't even believe I'm prefacing this. However controversial Kanye West is and whatever he says, I don't agree with the things he's saying, but I want him to keep saying it because as an artist, I'm watching his development of him expressing himself however it's happening in the moment. And I think, hey man, go say what you got to say. I respect that you're getting the feeling out, you're getting your thoughts out. However you're doing it is your expression. I'm not necessarily into it, but I'm not going to sit here and have such harsh criticism on something like that when I know that all of the things that people cancel for have the potential inside of myself. They just do. They're in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so and it's funny because the accuser also will be like, well, does that mean you're a sympathizer to all these oppressive groups? Maybe, and fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I contain multitudes as well as Ernest Hemingway said. You know what I mean? So It's like, I'm not going to hate those parts of myself, and I don't hate those parts of Kanye. Like, there was even a divine spark in Hitler. There was even a divine spark in Stalin. All these people, there was a divine spark in them, and they got massively corrupted along the way. So that divine spark is what I am concerned about. I know that there are ramifications and consequences for the expression and exterior and all the behavioral stuff, but man, just keep, no matter how this is so crazy to say, but how hateful someone is, there is a divine spark in them. There just is.
Right.
And it's undeniable. So
it's kind of like we have to study the best of society and the worst.
Yeah,
of
dude.
society.
Yes, dude. Yes. The sacred and the profane.
You study Jesus, and then you study Hitler. You study, Gandhi, and then you study, Stalin or Mussolini or
yes, dude.
Mao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial too. I think
you're capable of both
exactly,
of those,
man,
in your body too, in your mind.
Yes, dude. Yes.
The most extreme and most vile you've committed in your mind.
Yeah, dude.
You might not have done it, but it's already, you've thought it.
Yeah, and considered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And how many beautiful acts have I committed?
Exactly.
How many loving acts have I committed? I'm curious how many loving acts Hitler committed in his life.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He probably had kids he loved.
Right, man. And it's like, it's crazy to talk about that stuff because people are so bent on a political agenda that spark of divinity in the worst person they can conceive of is the same spark of divinity in them.
Exactly.
So
the most cruel nature of someone else is still the same energy that the person who's doing the most divine thing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, dude.
They're just using it for negative.
Yeah. That is so mind-bending. And thank God. You know what I mean?
It's wild it's good to appreciate that, because how you live your life, there's both good and bad in you, but what you actually do is what matters.
Yeah.
So you could think all the worst shit ever, but
totally,
if you don't do it, you're holding the danger at bay, which means you're in control.
Yeah, dude.
It's like only when you give in to your more base self are you not in control, and is probably when you're the most unconscious.
Yeah, true, dude. Yeah, true. That's very true. And that's that unconscious part of all of us is like, that's what Carl Jung says, like, well, we know little of the psyche, and that's the thing that he worried about, is the psyche of man destroying everything. And
Exactly.
It's true. Because the animals, they're doing their thing, man, you know?
Exactly. And we're always wanting like a present or a future heaven, but we deal with the present hell to get there. Like we have to go through all this negative stuff and then we'll be saved or happy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not living in the now.
Dude, as you say that, I think of on earth as it is in heaven, like pulling heaven down to earth, it's cheesy to say and cliche as well, as like that heaven is being in here now.
Exactly.
Like I have an exercise that I do when I walk in the park, and if anybody shows up in the park, I stop doing it because I'm a little embarrassed about it. But like, I will walk in a way that I sense that I'm making no wake in my environment. Like I walk as slow, and it's kind of like Tai Chi, you know. I'm not making a wake in the air or anything like that, as much as I can conceive of. But it's really cool to bring myself into the moment, because man, you can create heaven here, and I think that's what that scripture or that prayer is saying. Yeah, you know. Anyway, we're getting into it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Good.
That's what this is about.
Excellent.
Because how you express yourself is part of your artistry.
Yes, dude.
Know? Yeah. Every word that comes out of your mouth is part of your art. So.
Big time.
So, that's true. Kind of changing gears here. So, what are like all the roles as a curator for Rockwall
Gallery? Yes.
What does that entail?
The roles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I know what I do, you know, and I know that MySpace. Nice. Is top 8, but like I'm my goal is to be self-aware here, and it may come across as self-deprecating, but I think I know what my vibe is in that space. So I'll say this. One of the roles is coordinating with artists, getting their work delivered, choosing the artists that I want to show, working with the artist, communicating with the artist, which is a motherfucker sometimes, man. And I'm one of them. It's so annoying communicating with artists, man. Working with artists, such a pain in the ass.
Man. Like hard-headed people.
It's all of our egos just clashing, and it's like all this stuff, and it's like in my own, man. You know, it's like I've gotten better at it. I've gotten way better at it, but hanging all the work, facilitating the sale of the work. But I drop the ball a lot. I really do, man. And because the gallery's part-time for me, but I know that I'm benefiting the community by being able to show so many artists' work, you know? Some artists that have never shown their work, you know? I'm like, come on, man, let's do it. Let's go. You know, like, you can do this. I know you're freaked out and scared, and that's your dream to show a painting or two. Fuck, let's go, you know? And so, you know, there are other galleries in town, like Red Arrow and Zeitgeist and Lusk, that are like, that's their business, that's their path, that's their profession, that's all their stuff. And man, for a long time, I felt like I was in competition with them, but I'm not in competition with them. They're in a different field than I am, you know, as far as like in the same community. So it's like, I do what I can do. I participate in the art crawls. I do shows outside of the art crawls sometimes. I like to, I don't know, man. I like the social aspect of having people come to shows and stuff like that. And, you know, I love being able to see people that I've met through Instagram and people that I've also gotten into disagreements or arguments with, and they show up, and it's fun to experience that little bit of confrontation and a little bit of social unrest there, you know?
Yeah.
And all that stuff happens, man. And even when I'm curating and having those shows, there's an insecurity of me as like, are people going to show up? what do people think about what I've done? What as far as the work I've installed? What are people thinking about my personality? So it's all of that huge social thing. And when people think about going to art shows, at least me, I'm like stuffy. It's like, this is stuffy, and or maybe you don't, but
Stuffy as in
just like I'm looking at the art. Do not interrupt me. Don't, please. But I try to keep it not stuffy. You know what I mean? But so that's my vibe on Rockwall, man. And I'm there's some artists that I am glad I've had in there, and there's other artists I'm like, you can take a hike, never again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Nice. So basically, you like almost interior design with
Sometimes
artwork.
Yeah.
Like placing it and everything.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay. Setting it up and just making sure it looks as good as it can.
I still haven't been to Rockwall.
Come on.
There's a lot of galleries here. I haven't been to that I need to go to.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I've always wondered just kind of like what that's like as a curator.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they need an artist to be the curator.
Sometimes that's a great thing to bring up. Sometimes I think it's better when an artist is not, when a curator is not an artist,
because they're
separate from it. Yeah. And
true.
You just said their ego, and I experience my ego being involved in who I choose. Sometimes I choose people based on what I think their work ethic is, and their work might be okay. Yeah. Sometimes I will feel like I don't like an artist's personality, but I want to invite them into the space so I can have some sort of like role with them or superiority over them. But I realize I'm identifying too much with what I think they are. So it's interesting being an artist in that role. And I don't know if other curators or gallerists would say the things I've said about that, but that's my perspective of it.
Yeah, I kind of really have to separate personal from business.
It's tough. No, totally, man. I'm not the best,
especially when it comes to art. It's like
yes.
So much of you goes into the art.
Big time.
Now we're talking about money and all this other stuff. And
it's messy.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, this is part of my soul.
Yeah. Totally, dude. Yeah, and I focus a lot on money. Like I focus on selling. I focus on, I'm like, we can do this for the love of art and the community, but shit, man, I got a baby.
Right.
And I got to pay my bills, man. So let's sell some art. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Get it done. So what would you say inspires your creativity?
Eckhart Tolle said, he talks about paying attention to the space in between the words. And like if I'm speaking slowly, there are spaces in between the auditory part. And I think I look for those moments that my unconscious and God are connected and speaking to me in the break of the commotion or the sensory stuff, So I guess the void is like a general term, but I notice the best ideas I have are when I'm not trying to think of ideas, and that's so, again, we've heard that for a long time, but I think when I pay attention to the softness of life and what's underneath my own anger, which is probably sadness and a desire for connection, that's when I make the best work. And anger can be in there, but when I pay attention to the softness of life, I find myself really inspired and paying attention to what I'm making. 'Cause I'm a pretty soft dude. Like I'm a pretty loving person, I'm compassionate too, and I also have a big fuck you in there too. You know what I mean,
right.
Man?
Because you're soft.
Yeah,
you have to protect your heart. It's almost like you have to be, if you're really sensitive, you have to be more careful of your heart and your emotions.
Yeah, dude. Yes, dude.
So you kind of come hard and fast.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Because you want to stop it before it happens.
Yeah, I want to reject it before it rejects me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. And I am sensitive. Like, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, a few years, well, probably like 6-7 years ago, I do group therapy and therapy with a psychologist. I've been seeing him for 14 years. Same.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible. Encourage anyone to do group therapy. It's not individual therapy. It's really something else. It's beautiful. I've experienced the most growth in my life with group therapy. It's unbelievable in that domain. But he said in front of everybody, Ryan, you're a really sensitive person. I was so fucking pissed. I was like, all right, I was like, what did you say? Like, I was so pissed, man. And, but I've come to realize how sensitive I am, and I also love that part of me. And I'm like, dude, chill. But I think there's a difference between being sensitive and fragile,
Right.
And so there are parts of me that are fragile for sure, but I'm grateful for the sensitivity because it allows that I think of the sponge, it pick up the, like, creative people pick up the inspiration or the feelings or whatever. And then when we're pushed and something is down pressing on us or contracting, we're able to, like, put that stuff, the water out into the world, because it is pretty fluid.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I know that was kind of pretty abstract metaphorically, but.
Well, you get to take part in more of the richness of life.
Yes, dude, that's it. Nailed it. Yes, dude.
When you feel more, you can experience more instead of being just numb.
Yeah, dude.
And understanding why things piss you off or hurt you. Some people never ask those questions. So
you're right, dude. Yeah, you're totally right.
And they think everything is outside of them that's hurting them. It's like, no.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. That's a really great thing to say.
It's kind of like the reminder of, like, you have the power to hold no opinion of something, because if someone said something bad about you, but you never heard it, did it hurt you?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's so interesting to think about.
But you can have that same perspective on everything. Like, we have the power to not hold an opinion about something.
That makes me want to take a sip of this. No, that's like an unconscious move, man. It's like that. What you said was hard for me to conceive of. Like, I theoretically get that, but thinking about putting that in practice, I wanted to consume something that would satiate the feeling of uncomfortability of having to put that in practice. So that's why I went for the sip of water.
Yeah,
that's just crazy, dude.
It's a lot to think about. It's like
beneficial.
Constant reminder of that. We have the power to hold no opinion.
I'm going to be thinking about that now. What opinion do I have on that? But I know
it's part of the Stoic philosophy.
Right. Yeah.
Because apparently, like, in Stoicism, the main meaning of it is, like, nothing is inherently good or bad. It's all our interpretation.
Yeah, dude. I'm down with that.
Because if a meteor hits the Earth and no one's here, like, does it still mean the same thing as if there are a ton of people here that it gets hit by?
Dude, totally, man.
Because everything happens.
That's true.
Whether we have full control or not. You know what I
mean? Right.
But all we do is have our opinion of it. It's like when you die, it's like your perspective on what your life means is your power before you die.
Yeah, wow. No
matter what other people think of your life,
it's just you.
It's what you think about, your life, or what you think it meant to you. We get to choose what things mean to us.
Wow, dude. Man, when you put that vignette, like, I just think of, like, whatever the review of my life is when I pass, however, whatever time is at that point, like, the thought of there's no one else. It's like me,
Right.
And I get to choose what my life meant. That's really powerful. And I'm glad that you said that right now, because I hadn't considered that in that way before. So Thank you. That's really cool.
Yeah. Everything in your life, you get to choose what it means to you.
Man.
No matter what people think or try to push onto you.
Yeah.
Like I was telling my friend once, let others be embarrassed for you, because they're still trapped by societal
dude.
norms.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, do whatever you got to do. And
Oh yeah.
Don't let embarrassment stop you, because that'll stop most people from
Big time.
achieving anything.
Yeah, dude. No, that's really good to hear again, man.
Heck yeah.
I lose sight of that quite a bit, man. I lose sight of that quite a bit.
We all. It's constant work of life, you know.
For sure.
So, how would you best describe the type of artist you are?
Well, the past week I got into some. I like to troll online sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And because that shit's fun, and because when I read a good troll comment, I laugh my ass off. I'm like, nice job, you know. And this one guy was taking out there. I'll answer that question 1 second. So the guy had a sprinkler, and he had a hose hooked up to a sprinkler with really liquefied paint in it, and he was going on garage doors, going whoosh, 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 and it looked cool, and you get one go and not fuck it up. So I get how, you know, in the moment you're making this it look as cool as you can. You don't get to go back. It's fucking the comments. When I think about it, it said, "This looks like shit." I didn't agree with it, but I was like, "Nice, dude!" Like it was pretty good, you know. And but where was I going with that? Like, you know, I'll troll my own art and stuff like that. But as far as the kind of artist I am, I'm pretty in the moment, you know. And my friend Omari told me on a painting show I have, he was a guest on there, and he said, "You'll say anything," and I'm like, "Dude, what?" And I was like, "There's so much I don't say," you know what I mean? But I think if it's in there, a lot of times it's coming out, and I don't know the terms for the kind of artist I am, but I know that when I'm working something out in my painting. I'm not trying to make. I would love to have technical skills and try to make a very beautiful, you know, technically poised painting or what. I don't know, even know how to say it, but I'm working something out psychologically and emotionally when I am painting. So my work is pretty. My friend Kathleen described it as looking at a raw exposed nerve, and that feels apt. That feels really good to me, because sometimes it's hard for people to look at my paintings and know what's happening and stuff, but they can feel my paintings. So I'm into that.
Nice.
I'm into that. Yeah.
Kind of on the same lines, what would you say your art represents? Kind of like the exposed nerve, or
I think just I think watching someone work out their faith with fear and trembling in front of you in that medium, like that's a biblical reference, but it's like I'm really dealing with my perception, my perceptual framework as it relates to my feelings, to my experience, to my filters, to my opinions, to my all that stuff. I mean, yeah, that's what I think right now. And it may change. And so, but right now that's where I'm at.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like one of your paintings called Detail Velvet.
Oh, okay.
I love
okay,
the lines and layers in it.
Thanks. Just one? You only like one?
I have several of them here. I wrote all the ones that
cool.
I Trust You,
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
Warmer, and To Another. I can definitely feel like the sadness, or like I can feel the anxiousness. Like I get very much Francis Bacon vibes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, totally, yeah. I'm into that.
Some of the lines are very extreme, and like you can feel the the anxiousness in the space, or like I don't know, like busting out.
Yeah, cool. That's good to hear, man. I forgot to name Bacon too. I went through. I really admire what he's done.
I love it. I
really do.
Watched this documentary called A Brush of Violence.
Yes. God,
dude,
come on.
So good.
What a title. You know what I mean?
I love how he's obsessed with the teeth.
Yeah.
And the that one from like 1942, I think. It's the one with the skeletal.
Oh yes,
with
dude.
the umbrella.
Yes, dude.
And the teeth.
Looks like a carcass almost.
It looks like a carcass behind this dark, mysterious, like person.
Love it.
It's terrifying, but it's so much visceral energy comes from it.
And that's some things that generally people won't want to look at. I would love to have that in my house. I would love to have something like that in my house. Like, I hear a lot of people say, I like it, but not in my home. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. But why don't you just put something there you can ignore, or something that only makes you feel peaceful and happy. And that sounds good. Sounds good. I love that. I want that too. But what about something that you can't quite get why you don't like it maybe a little bit? Or why do you like the paintings you have in your house? What does it do for you? Why do you stop and look at it? Do you stop and look at it? Are you compelled by it?
Right.
It's like, put something in there that someone's going to be like, ugh, do that.
It's something that'll take you away.
Yeah. Why else would you want art in your house?
Right.
I understand that.
Probably moods for different rooms.
Yeah, dude.
But still, you'd want something that's like, wow, it's a talking piece.
That's the deal. And it's constantly talking to you if you let it and you engage with it. It's like, if you want to just engage with a beige little fucking few brushstrokes, and I've made this work. Like, boring, muted pastel shit.
Right.
You engage with that. That sounds good. I love that. You can do better. Right. You can dig deeper. And maybe you don't want to dig deeper, but it's worth it. It is worth it. Put some color in that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Dude. Another artist that I really like, whose art is just very visceral and intense, is the piece Impossibility of Death in the Eyes of Someone Living by Damien Hirst.
I don't think I've seen that. I want to, though.
Good God.
Okay, I need to look at that. That's cool. Beautiful.
It's 14-foot shark in a case of formaldehyde.
Whoa.
And it's like massive, and it's they put it inside galleries, and it looks like it's swimming in the room.
Oh, that's sick.
And when you look at it, it's like terrifying.
Yeah.
It looks like it's about to kill you.
Yes.
And but what's also very interesting is that the shark is starting to age in the formaldehyde, so it's getting these like wrinkles, and it's terrifying.
Oh, I'm down.
It's like this
that's too good.
like ghastly shark.
Beautiful.
But it's
where is it? Where is it? Do you know where it is?
Someone bought it. Some billionaire bought it and it's sitting in their house. But I think he's made another one since then.
Oh, wow.
Because once the shark started to age a lot, he had to I think remake it.
Wow.
But it was super controversial because
right. Animal rights and all that.
Yeah, but Damien told some guy in Australia, "I want you to find a shark that looks like it can eat you."
Yeah, fucking.
And send it to me. And then he encased it in formaldehyde, and it just looks like it's terrifying because it's fixed. You can't see the formaldehyde; it just looks like it's in a big glass container. But when it's sitting in the room, it looks like it's still moving.
Yes,
I'll show it to you after.
The title of that is like, if you're next to it, you're thinking you're going to die, or the viewer's going to die, but. The interesting thing is that the shark's already dead, and it keeps dying more when it deteriorates. So it's like, that's a really beautiful way to look at that, because you're experiencing this thing decaying when you might be like, oh fuck, this thing is going to kill me. You know what I mean?
And so you're also decaying.
Exactly. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Yes. Fuck yes. Yes. Good call. That's awesome, man. Nice job.
That kind of visceral energy, it comes from Bacon and a lot of his work.
Down for it.
I love it. I mean, you can see who all he's influenced, and even the Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
When he kills that guard and puts his body up like this.
Yes.
That's like Francis Bacon.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I love that movie so much.
But yeah.
Oh man.
I could feel the lines. Like there's this one piece where the Pope is sitting in the chair and his mouth is open, and he has Francis Bacon drew those extreme lines.
Yeah, that's right. He's sitting there like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's like he's in hell.
Yeah.
God, man.
Yeah, it was insane.
Oh, man.
Okay, so
Mm,
what would you say are your strengths and weaknesses as an artist?
mm. Um, wow, I've never even thought of that. I mean, I think about that all the time, but being asked that, I love that you asked me that. I think a strength is being aware of my limitations as far as technical skill. Um, I didn't go to school. I've taken a few painting classes and stuff, and gleaned things from other painters and stuff like that. But I know that my technical skills are pretty limited. Um, but also that's a weakness too, you know, because I know I could feel more expressed if I had more skill on the technical aspect of painting, you know. Um, I think a strength is that, and maybe this is for every artist. I just make what I make, you know, and there's a point that sometimes even if it feels like it's not done, I'll put it out, you know, and and see, it's so tricky, man, because I'm like I judge myself based on what I think the hierarchy of art critique would say, you know, and that hierarchy is beneficial in a lot of ways because it keeps the presence of art as high as it can be. And I know it sucks, but it's like it's got to be there somehow, you know. But another weakness is like caring too much about what I think if it's going to sell or what I think people are going to think, and that hinders me a lot. But it also, God, man, it's all the same. It's like like when I think of the weakness, I'll think of how it's helped me. You know, it's like it's also pushed me further into making the work either darker or messier or more intentional or unintentional in a way because I think it'll piss off a certain person or someone will not like it because of this thing. But that's ego, you know? And
Yeah.
I think when if I can get past the ego, and I have a big ego, man, and I experience it a lot, man. It's held me back in a lot of ways, but it's also it's also helped me make the most angry work I can and the most like visceral work I can. So I don't know, letting it all exist is a strength that I have as well. I don't know. They kind of are symbiotic in a way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
really is, and I'm glad I think of it that way. It's a little maddening, but it's like it's almost like no, it's not good, it's not bad. It just is a thing, you know. So that's my thought right now on it.
Say I'm being aware of it.
Yeah, yeah, trying to be, man, as much as I can.
Nice. So you've been in Nashville since '99.
99, yeah.
What
Yeah.
initially brought you here?
I had to get away from a crazy girl,
Oh yeah.
and she ended up following me down here. If you ever hear this, you know what was happening at the time. But but I also had to get out of Michigan, man. I was like, I had one friend here named Matt, and I moved in with him, and so did she. And shit, man, 22. What do you do when you're 22? You do shit like that, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, but it was all a greater purpose, man. You know, obviously, and I've tried to leave here a bunch of times and keep coming back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. What would you say is something you've learned living here?
That Nashville is kind of a copycat town. And other than country music, it doesn't seem to have its own identity as far as art is concerned or other music. And I think a lot of that has to do with the conservatism and the religion that's here. And it feels like a lot. And you know, I could be way off base, but I don't think I'm too off base on this. But the church and its existence here and its presence there's a very insidious and maniacal passive presence that holds on to the artist's mind here in Nashville. That's why it feels like there's nothing too revolutionary happening here with art, you know. But it's coming. It's coming. I think as more people come in from different places, it comes. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen ever. I'm saying overall it's pretty tame. Yeah. And I think down here art dances around the structure of the state. And when I go other places, especially in the north, it's like the state dances around the structure of the art. And I think that both of them have their benefits and drawbacks, but that's what I think so far.
Nice. What do you mean by copycat town? Like,
yeah, I think there's not been too. Somebody said a while ago, there's never been a huge rock band from Nashville. I mean, what you got? Kings of Leon. You know, they were big for a minute. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there are a couple other ones now, but a lot of them have country influence, you know, which is totally cool. And I know that that's the vibe here. And like I said, that's a huge part of the original identity in that. But everything else feels like it's trying to be something else from somewhere else and just kind of adopt it. And Christian music has a big, big influence on that because there's very little original Christian bands, you know. Back in the 90s, there were some pretty heartfelt or original Christian bands that, you know, would tour in just punk clubs and stuff like that, you know, that I still love. But overall, it feels like that whole mask of evangelicalism has really encased the outlook from Nashvillians and people that live here. Like even though some people may not ascribe to that religion or whatever, it's fine. It's unavoidable here. And that message just it permeates people's minds, and mine included. And it feels like the originality, and like I said, it's starting to happen now more, I feel like. But previously, it feels like that originality was missing a lot of pieces. That's just my thought about it.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to the 90s Christian group Jars of Clay?
Fuck yeah, love them, dude. Yes, dude.
I think that they're really good.
I do too. Greenville, Greenville, Illinois, I think, or something like that. Greenville College. That first record they put out, I listen to it constantly.
Oh my God.
It's so heartfelt. Dude.
It is so heartfelt.
It's so heartfelt, dude. Dan Hasseltine. Never mind, dude.
Man, yeah, dude. I listened to that.
Hell
I listened
yeah.
to it because I remember my brother had the CD back in the 90s. My mom would always put it on when she was cleaning his room.
Cool.
Listen to it.
Cool.
And then I hadn't thought about it until 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to it again, and I was like, "Holy crap!
It's so good, man."
Yeah, it brought me back.
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's so good."
Agreed. The lyrics are just so. I just connect to them quite a bit. You know,
right. It's got that alternative vibe too.
Yes, dude. And it has that '90s syncopated pattern or the drum pattern, just like. Every fucking song. But I love every song on that record. Everyone except Sinking. I like that song. I don't love it the second. I know the track names, dude.
Dude.
I'm fucking into it. Worlds Apart. I'm crying in my dorm room listening to Worlds Apart.
Oh, man, yeah.
Love it.
And I think Rich Mullins were my favorite
dude.
Of that time period.
Real.
Very real.
Very real, man.
That's
very
probably
real.
what made me like him so much, because I was like, a lot of people seem about Christianity as like this beautiful and always happy thing.
Yeah.
And then Rich Mullins comes in and goes, "That was extremely depressing.
Big time, man.
I'm addicted to alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm this huge Christian star, and I hate it."
He's hitting all the things that people won't let show, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I agree. There was a guy named Mike Knott that just died. He was along those lines too. He was in a band called LSU, and prolific guy and really, really niche in the Christian world. He was also in a band called Kush, and that I think they released an EP or like I don't know, maybe a record and EP, but he was along the same lines. He was dealing with some stuff that was like gritty and not plasticky, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Nashville has this plastic over it and then a glaze over it. Mm-hmm. That's how it feels to me, Nashville, you know? And Nash Vegas.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy to me.
Yeah, like when he moved to Nashville in the 90s or whatever.
Oh, Rich Mullins?
Yeah.
Sorry, we got
he like left his girlfriend at the time. He wanted to marry her, but she was like could see his rise to success, and like his radio hit came on or whatever.
It was Awesome God or something.
Something like that. And he was like going to move to Nashville, but he didn't want to without her. And it's just crazy how hard his life was because like his dad was pretty abusive, and it's like, so his whole understanding of Christianity, he could never see God as like a father because his father was so bad.
Right, dude.
And like every woman he ever loved, like just so much stuff fell apart for him.
Right, dude. Yeah.
You know? And like, I mean, even in his death, didn't wear a seatbelt and flew out of his Jeep.
I didn't know that, dude. Maybe I did know that, but you bring it up again.
Yeah, he was driving. He wouldn't wear shoes for the longest time, and he wouldn't wear a seatbelt. And he told his whole once he came here and started making millions of dollars, he told his record agency, like, give me the medium household salary, and that's all I want to be paid. So they only paid him $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
Oh my god!
And then he's like, donate the rest of the money or whatever. And they kept trying to bribe him with a new Jeep or a new motorcycle or something. He said, no, I don't want any of this. It was just wild. So much was thrust upon him, and like he made the most of it. But
beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you saying that stuff. I didn't know that. But
but he was driving down the highway and he didn't wear a seatbelt, and his Jeep flipped, and his passenger wore a seatbelt, so he survived.
Whoa!
But Rich Mullins flew out and like hit on the highway, and then an 18-wheeler ran over.
Oh my god, man!
So his death was pretty instant. I mean, but just wild.
What a way to go out, man! Wow.
Which most Christian artists are not like that, probably.
No. Especially not now, man.
Exactly. A little bit too tame, like you said, playing it too safe.
And hey, man, I talk a lot of shit and have a lot of opinions on that, but if that's I have to remember that everybody is doing what they can with the consciousness they have at the time, me included. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes I'll start riffing on someone in my head, especially in the shower, man. I'll start bitching about somebody or myself in the shower, but it's less and less, and it goes for less because I realize that it's someone else judging them. It's like someone else's, though it's me, I understand it's me. When I start attacking myself or someone else, I'm like, whose voice is that? Who is that speaking to me, judging myself or them? Because it's not my heart.
Mind.
Yeah, it's somebody else's personality speaking through me, though it is me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jung says, we're made up of all these different sub-personalities, So I don't know if we'll ever be able to know who we really are. It's an amalgamation of all the things that we've learned, Yeah. So it's like, it's really tough when when I hear artists say, you got to be true to who you are and know who you are. And I'm just like, who are you? It's like Game of Thrones. Who are you? Like, was that Man with No Face or something like that? Did you ever watch that?
I got to like season 5.
Yeah, cool. No, yeah, it's totally cool. And maybe I'm botching it, but I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about. Like, will I ever really know who I am?
Right.
And it gives me a lot of relief knowing that I may never know who I am.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Take your whole life.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So
we're going for it, dude.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Do you have a favorite venue here?
The End.
The End.
Fuck yeah. Number 1. Yes, The End. And I like Municipal, dog. God.
Dude, yeah.
Yes,
the Beatles played there.
No. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's incredible, dude. Oh, that's cool. But The End, man, that I haven't played music live in a long time, but the stage in there is just so good, man. But I love seeing shows there, man. And I used to go to this place called IndieNet back in the day. It was called Lucy's Record Shop before that. It was on Church Street where the gay clubs are. And am I going to get canceled for saying gay clubs? Anyway, so you can see how much I think of myself. But you know what I mean? Like I'm a big deal. But anyway, it was a dive club, and man, they had like one microphone. It was so shitty, but I saw so many great bands there, man, and It was so cool, man. Oh, IndieNet was cool, but the end is where it's at for me anyway. What about you?
To see a show, maybe. I like the Blue Room a lot.
Man, I've never seen a show
It's
there.
great.
That's cool.
That's
I've heard
a lot.
that.
Really good. I like the East Room.
Yeah.
I like Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, same, dude. That flashed in there before Municipal, but I'm like, I got to go grittier than
Right.
But Bridgestone's badass.
And
dude.
I like seeing shows at Nissan Stadium.
I've never.
I saw Chili Peppers
cool.
there.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Like, well, I just love huge, massive productions.
Yeah, dude,
you know what I mean? Like, I love going to Bonnaroo and seeing like 80,000 people in a crowd.
Yes, dude.
Like, I love the big
energy of that.
The audience, the crowd. So I like big, but I also, like the Ryman.
Yeah.
But yeah, for smaller venues, I would say Blue Room, East Room.
Yeah. East Room's awkward for me because that damn stage is so high. You know what I mean?
It's awkward, and it's like it's big, but it's also small. Like the high ceilings. I like that there's a balcony. Yeah. I think I like East Room playing there maybe more than going there.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
Do you have a favorite food or restaurant here?
Oh man, the first one that comes up is Satco. I love Satco, dude. It's been here 35 years. It's not changed, and you know what you're getting when you're going to Satco. Don't hate on it, people.
I don't think I've been there.
It's over on Vanderbilt campus over there.
What is Satco?
It's dirty, man. It's like just Tex-Mex.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
Oh, wait, I've been there.
A lot of people talk shit on it, but it's always busy. I love Satco, man.
Doesn't that mean a good thing?
Yeah. It's funny. Granted, it's a bunch of like bros and Vanderbilt people, but I'm in there.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, what is some advice you'd give to someone who's going to move here and do art?
I want to close up. Look at that. I want to change my body disposition like that. That's a really good question. My first thought is like, don't. Go somewhere else. There's too many here. Art or music? Art?
All encompassing.
Okay.
Comedy, art, music. They want to come here and be a part of the scene. And
I like what you're doing. Honestly, like I like how what seems like you're really into what you're doing in your craft, and like you're disciplined and you have a schedule and you seem to have fun and you're working toward a goal and you have a business too. I think that's really lucrative and something I have a hard time with, dude. I think it's pretty admirable that you can do that. Seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah. And like social, like I think that's a big deal. You got to be social, you know, and I used to be so social, but I, went through some pretty intense stuff in 2012 and moved out to the country but being social and just talking to people and asking about them, because it'll come back for you. You'll be asked enough about you, and I think that's good. Like asking people about them, and also I've learned recently, like asking people how you can help them. I think that's pretty genius. Like and be genuine about it, like I have a hard time with that. Cause I don't want to be self-referential on it, but going back, I think from seeing what you're doing, I think it's pretty cool, man. That's my advice, doing what you're doing and being social and having a job and if you're just starting, but if you don't want to have a job and you just want to knock it out, fucking do it, man. You know what I mean? But I really dig that you have your own business and you're focused on your craft too. I think it's killer, dude.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. So reflecting back on when you first started as an artist, what is one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome, and how did you get through it?
I want to go back to when I first started making art because I was more free. I didn't know as much, So I think if you're afraid to show your work, then that's the thing you need to do. If you're afraid to make shitty paintings, you're going to make shitty paintings anyway, And like, if you're going to if you are in a band and you want to look cool, try not looking cool, do the opposite of what you think you should do and you're afraid of. If you everybody says, like, that's where your path lies, and it's like And also watch the resentment level. If you're not getting what you want or succeeding, and I'm speaking to myself right now because I can get pretty resentful and fiery, and just watch how resentful you are. Pay attention to it and put it into your art. Maybe not put it into your relationship so much. You know what I mean? So that's what I. Oh, and the rejection, just roll with it. It's going to help you in the long run. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and like Ruben says, like the audience comes last. You know, make what you want to make. But I think what he could have went further on this, and he does a little bit, but it doesn't mean the audience isn't there.
Right.
You know, it doesn't mean the audience isn't a participant in what you're making. And I think he says that some way in the end of it. But I think a lot of artists focus on the artist, the audience comes last. So in my mind, when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, fuck the audience, you know, I'm gonna make my work, but that's not it. It's like the audience is a participant. And in some ways you're serving them, but you're serving them the best by making what's in your heart.
Right.
Straight up. So that's my vibe on that. How long have we been going, dude?
An hour and a half.
Damn.
I've got a few more questions.
Yeah, cool. I'm down. No, I'm cool, man. What time you got though?
It's 1:23.
Okay, cool. I probably need to leave in like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll try to hurry this up. I've got just a few more questions.
Cool. Yeah.
But,
I'm not trying to hurry you. I can do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest personal growth from last year to this year?
Okay, we're in March. I notice I'm not as taken away by I don't get in these weeks long moods. Like I'll feel angry or sad or uncertain or distraught or jealous or resentful or you know, and I'm citing all these negative things, the things that I feel uncomfortable in. And I notice they don't overtake me for weeks at a time now, you know, and that I noticed that the other day. I'm like, I'm not staying pissed, you know, I'm not staying sad. I'm not staying any of this stuff. And I also am realizing how sometimes it may be unconscious, but now I'm realizing it a little bit. And it may not be completely true, and it might be a filter that I have of myself, but how I have been so gung-ho on people that have more success than me, how much I'm trying to work this out as I say it, like sure. How much I want to gain from the possibility of them working with me or knowing them. So pretty much like to put it in a really crude term, I think sometimes I have this energy of a bigger artist can sense in me. And dude, and again, I don't know if this is like deprecating in a way that I just need to chill. But as I say it, I'll learn more.
Sure.
Like bigger artists might look at me and think that I just want something from them. And that's something that I've realized over the past year. And I think that comes from a feeling of drought in my own success, you know? Because I do want to be famous, dude. Yeah. I fucking do. You know, I want to have that success, and I understand some of the issues that come with that from what I hear all these famous people put in their art. You know, but I think sometimes it may come across that I'm just trying to get something from someone, or that makes me sad that could be a thing that I've created in myself. You know. So that's a vulnerable, honest answer.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm realizing that now, and I may have, and maybe I've done that with relationships and friendships, but I'm realizing now that I've possibly pushed people away because of that.
I understand.
So yeah.
So how can people support you as an artist?
Beautiful, man. Thank you. Man, I mean, buy my paintings. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. We can do a smaller one. It doesn't have to be a fucking $8,000, $10,000 painting, man. Though, come on, if you're out there, you listen. Let's go. We can do that too.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just like, you know, shouting it out every once in a while. And I don't really get asked to be a part of a lot of group shows, and you know, but sometimes I guess just being invited to do shows would be really cool. Because I invite a lot of people to do shows, you know, and I'd like to be invited to do shows.
Yeah.
Seriously, the little kid in me is like, I'd like to play. You know what I mean? That's the truth. That's the truth. But
okay, awesome.
And I'm glad that people like my work, and when they speak to me about my work, I can tell when it's like authentic and when it's not. But even when it's not, I'm like, well, you're saying something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that. So yeah, that's the vibe.
Okay, cool.
Right now.
How do you like to consume media? Do you have favorite YouTube or do you
Instagram, man.
Instagram?
Fuck, I hate Instagram. That's a major addiction that just rocks my that just rocks my world, man. And but I like YouTube. I also like watching just series and stuff, you know.
Do you have like any favorite books or movies?
Books are tough, man, because it's hard for me to stay focused reading.
Yeah, I got you.
But I am listening to Man and His Symbols right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I listen to it right before I go to bed because he's talking about unconscious dreams and all that stuff. And I've noticed that it's helped me pay more attention to my dreams.
Yeah.
And in the archetypes and the symbols happening. It's badass. So that movies, I guess as of late, I really liked the unbearable weight of massive. You know what? I love Nicolas Cage. Man. I've loved Nick Cage. I love all of his aliases, monikers, I guess. Maybe there's only been a couple, but yeah. I like a lot of comedy.
Nice.
It's good.
You like Bill Hicks?
I haven't listened much, man. People send his stuff all the time. I need to listen to it more. He's he's legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to add that I might not have asked you about?
Oh, dude. I probably not. We've covered. I feel like we've been pretty in depth. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful, man. Thanks for. I reached out, and I'm really grateful that you had me on here, man.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the last question.
Okay.
What is something absurd you love or do?
Oh, wow, dude. Yeah. Man, so many things. Man, when I'm stressed, I eat my boogers, dog. You know? Your face just now is so good. You're like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I just do, man. And my son does it now. And I know he's 3, but I'm like, when we're driving and I'm stressed, dude, are you just checking the jam one? And then you're like, and then he starts... I don't give a fuck, man. I think there's more people out there that do that than they admit. But man, it's just an obsessive compulsive thing, anxious thing, and I have done it my whole life, man. And but also, dude, it's crazy. I can sit here and not like poke and prod and tick on you because I'm usually like not all the time anymore, but I touch people, and like for a long time I had a tick where I would put the edge of my hand on girls' boobs and stuff, man. It was rough, dude, for years, dude. That's hard to do, dude. And I'm not kidding. And or like dudes' wieners, man. I swear to God. And ask anyone who's known me for a while; they know that has happened. You know, I mean, multiple times.
You'll just be like, "Yeah, wasn't that funny?"
Yeah, just tip them. You know what I mean? And,
you awake down there?
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, what you got down there? But yeah, that is completely absurd. Even though it's a tick. A lot of the ticks I have are completely absurd. And depending on the energy, I can laugh at it. But I've also, depending on the energy, when other people speak about it, I'll tell them to just go to hell.
Right.
So, but my close friends were cool, and I understand that people, when I meet people and they hear I have Tourette syndrome, they're like, fuck, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the deal. Tourette syndrome is fucking absurd, dude. It really is.
It's one of the most hilarious.
It really is, dude. When I watch someone with Tourette's, I'm like, you go get it.
Right.
There's this girl named Bailey Dupree, I think is her name on Instagram, and she's Tourette's, man. She's, people think she's faking. I understand that, but she goes woohoo, woohoo, and she's like flipping the camera off. I flip people off, and she's like saying cock and balls, and I'm like, I wish I could have had such a curious, wondrous look at my own bout with Tourette syndrome. I feel like I would have saved myself a lot of like mental anguish.
Yeah.
I
had a friend in high school who had Tourette's, and everyone would laugh when he would do his.
Was he laughing?
But he was laughing.
He was, man. But I know there's a sad clown in that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
But he was like,
yeah.
I think like he would be like cock balls vagina.
Yes, dude.
Like in class, and
how do you not?
And the teachers would think it was hilarious, and everyone didn't really give him a hard time for it.
Good.
They knew,
good. Yeah.
But they thought I think they laughed to relieve him of. Like,
yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Like because everyone understood, and no one gave him a hard time for it.
That's huge, man.
Because even when he couldn't walk, because his knees would, crash, crash together. So,
oh yes, dude.
Teachers would have to carry him to class, and it was just like
respect.
We loved that guy.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
we looked after him.
Beautiful. And dude, as you say that, I think of all the people who in my life have had that same look at me. I just didn't. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And hearing your friend like it's hard to deal with, especially when the tics are really bad. It hurts your body, and it's like, but the shadow of that is like tics get me attention.
Yeah,
so
he was hilarious.
Yeah, I bet. It's fucking awesome, man. He sounds cool, man.
Well, dude,
awesome. Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Thank you again, man. I've enjoyed talking to you.